The news cameras had barely begun to warm when the room fell into a silence thick enough to feel. Every reporter, every aide, every spectator held their breath. Senator John Kennedy stood at the podium, shoulders squared, eyes holding a fire that hadn't been seen in him before. Then he spoke 8 words that would ripple across the entire country. "What I'm about to say will change everything." Nobody expected what would follow. For weeks, whispers had surrounded the senator, rumors of secret meetings, late-night phone calls, and uncharacteristic disappearances from the public eye. But no one, not even those closest to him, understood the truth of the storm he'd been walking through. It began months earlier, long before Kennedy found himself staring down the weight of a nation. Kennedy had always been known for his wit and humor, sharp as a knife, warm as a fireplace. But beneath the jokes lived a man who felt deeply, perhaps too deeply at times. And when tragedy struck his home state in the form of a massive manufacturing shutdown that left thousands jobless, something inside him shifted. One of those affected was Caleb Jackson, a middle-aged factory supervisor from Baton Rouge who had spent 25 years in the same building. Caleb had 2 kids, a mortgage, and an unwavering pride in his work. When the shutdown came, he walked home that day carrying an empty lunchbox that felt heavier than his entire world. Kennedy received hundreds of messages from people like Caleb, but one letter struck him like a hammer to the chest. It was written not by Caleb, but by his 12-year-old daughter, Mia. "Dear Senator Kennedy," it began, "my dad never cries, but last night I saw him crying in the truck so my mom wouldn't hear. He said, 'I don't know how to fix this. Can you help us? My dad always says you're a man who doesn't give up.'" The letter was simple. Innocent. But it broke him. Kennedy read it over and over again until he memorized every line. And then, 4T. Inside, Caleb tried to hold himself together. "Senator, I've worked my whole life. I don't need charity. I just want a chance to provide for my family again." "I know," Kennedy replied. "And that's exactly what I'm fighting for." That night, as he drove away from the Jackson home, Kennedy knew there was no turning back, not without betraying the people who believed in him. And that brought the story back to this moment, the press conference. The cameras. The tension thick in the air. Kennedy cleared his throat, placed both hands on the podium, and began. He announced the most ambitious and comprehensive jobs and economic revitalization plan the state had ever seen. A massive program built from the stories, tears, and hopes of the people he met. Training centers for laid-off workers. Tax breaks for small businesses instead of billion-dollar corporations. Investments in rural infrastructure. Support for family-run industries. Manufacturing innovation hubs designed to bring stable jobs back home. Reporters scribbled furiously. Cameras flashed. But Kennedy wasn't finished. With a rare tremor in his voice, he said, "This isn't just policy. This is a promise. A promise to every father sitting in his truck wondering how to tell his family the hard truth. A promise to every child like Mia, who still believes their leaders can do the right thing. And I intend to keep that promise, no matter the cost." For the first time in years, there was no laughter in his tone. No witty punchline. Just conviction. As the broadcast went live across the country, millions watched. Some cheered. Some doubted. Some criticized. But everyone felt the magnitude of the moment. Because this wasn't just a bill. It was a spark. A reminder that leaders could still listen. That ordinary people still mattered. That hope, even in its quietest form, could shake the earth. In the months that followed, Kennedy faced fierce battles in Congress. But something unexpected happened. Ordner.